Got a teenager in your life? Well, this next story is for you, because for decades, the ABC's BTN, or Behind the News, has established itself as a trusted source for generations of children.
Now, in an age of multiple platforms, streaming and, of course, social media, the team is launching a new offering aimed directly at high school students, which I think is just wonderful. To tell us more, we're joined by BTN host, the wonderful Amelia Mosley from the show's base in Adelaide. Amelia, always great to see you. Good morning.
Good morning, Michael. Thanks for having me.
And congratulations on this. As I said, I think it's really going to hit the mark with high school students. So what can they expect when they see BTN High?
Yeah, well, as you can see, I'm here on the BTN set from Adelaide. You can check it out a little bit behind me. You can see the skeleton in the background, my favourite piece of this set. So this is where we present BTN and also our daily show, BTN News Break. And over the time I've been here, I've seen us sort of change with the times and move into, social media. And we now have a TikTok account, an Instagram, and we have a YouTube channel. And now we're so excited to also be offering new content for high schoolers. So we are launching BTN High today, and what we're going to do is create about 3 short videos every single week, which will be targeted specifically at high schoolers, and it's the first time we've ever done that in BTN's 55-year history. And these stories will also be tailored to the Australian curriculum. So we're really trying to get into schools and assist teachers with their teaching and students with their learning. That's
a very important point to make, Amelia. BTN works very closely with education authorities around the country. Gee, I love some of the issues you're discussing as part of this. Explaining the dark web, which I think is essential for anybody, but especially teenagers.
Definitely. So we're going to cover like a whole lot of different topics, Michael. So we're definitely moving with the news cycle. So for instance, this week we're talking about the earthquake in Turkey and Syria. But we have, covered, like you said, the dark web. And we're kind of talking about in that story, like the good and the bad sides, which I think doesn't actually always get talked about. We always think of the dark web as just, where criminals are and bad things happening, whereas we talk about a few of the reasons why it even exists and a bit of the history there. We've also covered stories about vaping, which you can check out on our website and on iView at the moment. So we've talked about, for instance, I went and spoke to a chemist at the University of Wollongong who is taking vapes apart and seeing exactly what's in them. So we think that's going to be a really good resource for example, for science, but also just, for teachers generally who are wanting to talk about the health implications of vaping, potential health implications. And so we've also done stories about the age that kids can be sent to jail in Australia. Yeah. We've talked about stories where, for instance, the phone ban in South Australia, where in schools, students are having to put their phones into lockable pouches all day long, something that I know I would personally really struggle with, Michael. But yeah, so with a story like that, that's a perfect example of when we can actually go out to high schools, and we have done this, and speak to students and find out what they think. And I don't think they often get that opportunity in the regular news media, and so we really want to give high school students a voice as well, in the same way that we've been giving kids a voice in the news for 55 years on BTN.
That's great, and that is so true, and this is why I love what you're doing, BTN High, because you will reach this cohort of viewers who, the ABC and most other media organisations simply can't at the moment, which is a wonderful thing.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much. Because obviously it is extremely important, because if you consider that, we know a lot of teenagers are getting their news on social media and sites like, TikTok and Instagram. I know I even get my news from there. Sometimes a lot of adults are doing it too. And of course that means that there's a lot of misinformation out there. And also, I think something we don't talk about a lot when it comes to social media is also the bias. So, you are getting a lot of stories that are just little snippets, 30 seconds to a minute and a half of information. And, the person that's presenting that could be biased in so many different ways, whether it's politically or whether it's, have companies sponsoring them. And so it's really important, I think, that we offer something that's trustworthy, that's reliable, that's age appropriate. And that's exactly what we're doing with BTN High. So it's so exciting.
Before I go, it's been on my mind, why the skeleton? Why do you like the skeleton?
Yeah, because I went and mentioned it. Yeah, Look, we just like it. It's a full-size skeleton.
this-
It's sciencey.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what its nickname is,
Oh, tell
Michael?
me. I'd
It's
like to
named
know.
after it's named after a former BTN presenter, Nathan Basley, who obviously worked here for far too many years. No, he's alive and well. It's all good.
Fantastic. Hey, Amelia, congratulations on it again. And BTN High can be reached on your website, on ABC iView and YouTube. All the best with it.
Thanks so much.